welcome back to Broken Sword, Shadows of the Templars, Director's Cut. Wow, that's something to say each time. We're at a costume shop because we're going to look at... Well, we got this clown nose, and this is the address of where the killer got the nose, and we have a picture of him. So let's talk to the owner.
Excuse me.
Bonjour, monsieur. Please, come in. Welcome. Leave the mundane world behind, for in these four walls, fantasy is king.
I don't want a costume.
Didn't you ever dress up when you were a child?
Not that I remember.
Incredible! You'll be telling me next that you never shared your elder sister's lingerie?
What?
I don't have a sister, and I think I'd look pretty silly in a brassiere. I just need some information.
Of course.
You're a
How
sick,
can I
sick
help
man.
you?
Sick man with a spoon face. I'm watching you. I'm keeping my eye on you. That's not
I'm
clown.
looking for a man who hired a clown costume from you.
Oui, monsieur. I do not see how I can help.
Don't you keep a record of costumes that you've rented out?
Of course, monsieur, but...
Well, then I'd like to check your records. Give me the names of everyone who's rented a clown suit.
Impossible. There are too many.
What? Is it that popular to dress like a clown?
Have you heard of a man named Plantile?
I do not recall anyone of that name.
Well, of course not. Plantal was not famous.
Do you want this red nose back?
Not after it's been worn, thank you.
Yeah, I'm saving that for last.
Does this dirty tissue mean anything to you?
Let me smell that.
What?
Bestheimer's number 7 white pancake.
Theatrical grease paint, right?
Oui, monsieur. La crème de la crème of Thespian accoutrement.
Have you sold any of it recently?
Yes, 2 cans.
He might be a really weird sicko, but he does know his grease paints. And he seems to have a very good sense of smell.
Do you recognize this man?
Ah oui, he was here this morning. That is the man to whom I sold the grease paint.
Ta-da!
Remember the scar on his face? He chose 2 costumes. Bozo the clown and Seamus the pixie.
A pixie?
Very smart. Green silk with a taffeta lining. He gave me his name as Monsieur Khan.
There we go, Monsieur Khan. And he's going to dress up like a pixie and kill someone. Why am I thinking of the Leprechaun movies right now? For some reason.
What does this tool mean to you?
Nothing, monsieur.
It's always fun to do such stupid things, but now we know. Monsieur Khan, well, I already knew that, but now it's official.
Thanks for your help, buddy.
My pleasure, monsieur. Allow me to shake you by the
Oh,
hand.
no.
Huh? Well, okay.
Joy Buster? The freaking weirdo.
What are you trying to do, kill me?
You did not find it amusing?
Look at that
I never
face!
saw the funny side of electroshock therapy.
There's something
Eh bien,
seriously
it
wrong
is
with this
yours
guy.
to keep. A gift?
Do I need a license?
No, but I give you a word of warning, monsieur.
What?
Remember to switch it off before you visit the toilet.
Actually, sound advice. I wouldn't use a Joy Buster down there. Preferably not. That could be kind of painful. And very, very disturbing. But this guy seems to be seriously disturbed, and I don't want to think what he used it for. To find out that. To find that out, I mean. I guess we should go to the police. Because that's the only place we haven't visited so far. I mean, we need to find out where the hell Monsieur Khan is living, staying at the moment. Because that's the cafe, so post the police. And they're probably... Boy, wonderful. Constable Moo? Was it Sergeant Moo? Or... The idiot?
Rosso's sidekick, Sergeant Moo.
Sergeant Moo. Well, still an idiot. So, yeah. This will be wonderful. And enlightening, I guess.
It was just some police paperwork, a search warrant.
Could be good to use. Or steal,
Sergeant
rather.
Moo?
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure.
Shouldn't it be both? Or something? Oh well, let's start the conversation tree then.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Not right now.
Not really. I was one of the last people to see the victim alive, Sergeant.
Does that worry you?
Yes, it does. I feel I owe it to him to find his killer.
That is best left to the authorities, monsieur. Did he speak to you? Tell you anything?
No, he just
That mustache.
grinned and nodded.
Don't let it trouble you, monsieur. Go home and try to forget.
That mustache, my god, I mean, it's magnificent. He looks like a walrus.
I know the identity of the dead guy. His name was Plantow.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
Yeah.
Do you know a man named Khan?
He's a shifty-looking guy with a scar on his right cheek.
No, monsieur. Has this man any connection with the bombing of the cafe?
Yes. I believe Khan was the name he used when he hired the clown costume. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur.
It's the guy who bombed the cafe. The clown.
This man looks nothing like a clown.
He's
No,
taken
but
off
you
his
do.
grease paint and costume.
Then there is nothing to link this man with the killing.
Nothing? Look at those murderous eyes.
Hardly likely to get him convicted.
Good point. And, no, I'll probably get thrown in prison if I try to use a joy buster on him.
See you later, Sergeant.
Let's see if I can talk to
Excuse
Rosso.
me, Sergeant.
What do you want now?
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Yes?
I do.
One moment, monsieur.
Someone who might have a brain. Or at least
It's
half a
Stobart,
brain.
monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Did he say what it was about?
No, monsieur.
Very well.
The psychic and the moron. Wonderful combo.
Hi, Inspector. Remember me?
But of course, Doctor, my mind is a well-ordered
Damn.
faculty. A mental classification system that's the envy of the Bibliothèque Nationale. No tricks mark you, monsieur. Just exercise. Just as our muscles waste through inactivity, so our minds decay. But there is no need. If only people would learn to exercise their wits daily.
If he was trying to impress me, it worked. He was pompous and patronizing, but he had style.
Eh bien, if you called about the bombing, you're too late. Investigations have been closed.
What?
But
Have been taken off the case.
what about the murderer, the dead guy?
It is out of my hands.
My goodness, that was quick. And I might not agree with Rosso or anything like that, but damn, he's a smooth guy. And I like the idea that he is a little bit of a trying to be a psychic and Hercule Poirot and everything at the same time. And I'm starting to break off into some kind of French accent here. Oui, monsieur. Well, we should ask him at least about Khan.
Don't you want to know what I found out about the killer?
I told you, monsieur, the case is closed. I have washed my hands of the whole affair.
Then I'll have to continue my investigations without your help.
No, you must forget the business of the clown completely. Go back to being an ordinary tourist, Stobart.
Oh well. Let's
Did you
try.
find out the ID of the guy who was killed in the explosion?
I already knew who he was.
You did?
I heard that the bomb victim's name was Plantow.
Your sources are reliable.
He was a big shot at the Treasury, wasn't he? Maybe that's why you've been taken off the case.
I'm sorry, monsieur. I cannot comment.
Well, you're probably right, George.
So long, Inspector.
Have we got Moo? Monsieur Moo. Oh, Sergeant Moo, I mean. Ah.
Would you like to shake my hand, Sergeant?
Not while I'm on duty, monsieur. The gesture could be misconstrued.
It can. Oh well.
See you later, Sergeant.
Well, here's the telephone, and I think we should call Mr. Todrick again. Yes, because that's the only number we know.
Hello? Who is this? Mr. Todrick? Oh, it's you again. What now?
Well, we know about Khan.
The man I'm looking for is called Khan. He bought a suit from you, remember? Mr. Khan. Yes, I remember him. Yes, I delivered the suit to his hotel. The Hotel Ubu. I don't remember the room number. It was upstairs. The second room on the right-hand side of the corridor.
Thanks, Todrick. That's all I wanted to know. Now I've got you, Mr. Clown.
Good. Now we have unlocked another the location, so let's go to Hotel Ubu. And we're about to meet one of my favorite characters in this game. She's so funny. Oh my. Oh my. Here are the tough guys. Can I,
The man
what?
looked like an amiable Bigfoot.
Amiable Bigfoot? I think you're a way off, George. He does not look very friendly.
The guy looked just like a weasel.
Oh, I guess so. Oh, I could walk inside. How nice. And there she is! One of my favorite characters.
The woman was obviously English. She had all the qualities of Boadicea, Elizabeth I, and Margaret Thatcher rolled into one. It
Holy
wasn't
hell.
a pretty sight.
You mean that she looks like a hatchet and has a personality to actually be with it? That matches it? I guess so. Let's have a word with her.
Hi there, ma'am.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
I'm looking for a man.
You disappoint me, my dear. For one foolish moment I thought... But never mind.
Oh, you dirty old lady.
Name?
George. George Stobart, ma'am.
How sweet! I once had a stable boy called George. I am Lady Piermont. The common reaction is to kneel and stutter, but it's not obligatory.
A real lady? I mean, you're an honest-to-God aristocrat?
Oh, I don't know about that. Few of my ancestors are honest, not even to God. I can trace my family back to the Normans, but don't let that intimidate you, George. Beneath that impressive pedigree, I'm just flesh and blood. The blood may be blue, but the flesh is the plump beef of old England, so to speak. You appear distracted, George. Is there any way I can help you?
Oh my. She's a very interesting lady, isn't she? Oh, she gives me the creeps, but she is still very interesting. And she has purple hair. Never thought about that before.
Did you know there's a gangster out front?
What makes you think he's a gangster?
The Italian suit and the bulge in his pocket?
I know plenty of men with Italian suits and bulges.
Oh, you naughty girl.
That doesn't necessarily make them gangsters.
Well, he's Italian and has a bulge in his pocket. Ah. Wow. Stereotyping. Stereotyping is always fun, isn't it? Well, let's ask about Mr. Khan.
I'm looking for a murderer.
Good heavens! You're a private detective.
That's correct, ma'am.
What's the term you Americans use? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh,
I believe what
innuendo.
you're thinking of is Dick.
Precisely.
She is very, very dirty, isn't she?
Have you come across a man who calls himself Khan?
I am familiar with only one person named Khan.
Genghis Khan, the legendary Mongol barbarian chieftain?
No, darling. Kevin.
Kevin Khan? I never heard of him.
I'd be most surprised if you had, darling. He's a pharmacist in Hemel Hempstead. Organises fundraising for the Rotarians. Lovely man.
Does he have a scar on his cheek?
I really wouldn't know, sweetie.
Well, I thought she was old enough to actually have known the Genghis Khan personally. Ah, sorry, that was a low blow.
Are you here in Paris on vacation?
No, darling, I'm on holiday. I needed to get away after Algy's funeral.
I didn't realize you were mourning the loss of a loved one.
I'm not. He was my husband.
Oh.
I'm sorry to hear about your husband's death.
You wouldn't be if you knew him, my dear. It gave me the opportunity to take a well-deserved holiday. Daphne suggested a change of scenery. Paris, she said. A wild romance is just what you need to take your mind off the inquest. Well, the closest I came to romance was being wooed by a drunken Breton chef. I must say I was disappointed with his coq au vin. Not at all what I was expecting. I was thinking of cutting my holiday short, packing my bags and heading back to Hempstead. That was until last night.
Oh. Oh, you say? Duh. Rather. I'm very curious now. And these double entendres are hilarious to me. Well, I guess I have my head in the gutter or something.
What happened to you last night?
I was stricken, Mr. Stobart. Cupid's arrow has cleft my bosom.
They couldn't really miss.
It was just as I'd always imagined it should be. The intimacy of candlelight, romantic music tinkling across the room, and then a stranger's glance. Those brooding eyes, that suave manner, those tight trousers. He was the man I'd been waiting for all my life.
I'm glad he finally turned up after all these years.
Ah, but it wasn't to be. He was merely toying with my affections. And if I ever catch up with him, he's dead.
She doesn't have an easy life, does she? Well, in the image here I can't see that she has such a big bosom, but she at least has a bosom. Everybody over the age of 50 are allowed to have a bosom.
Who was the guy who led you on?
His name is Merlin.
Merlin. No. 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 I'm not going for that one. But on a final side note, though, that I think we meet her brother in one of the future games, and I think we actually meet her too in some of the future games. I can't remember. It was a while ago since I played, but as I said, she's funny. And she's helpful.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
My God, it's him! That's Merlin!
She represented everything I loved about the English. The lady was totally deranged.
Merlin? You mean King Arthur's wizard?
Good heavens, no! Monsieur Merlin is a fellow guest. He's the man I've been telling you about. That's the man who spurned me.
Well, there we go. Monsieur Merlin.
The man you know as Merlin is a fake.
What do you mean, sweetie?
He's a murderer. He also uses the name Khan.
I am shocked, Mr. Stobart. Shaken.
I'm flabbergasted.
A gentleman. A man of honor. Do you know, I'd rather like to assist you in stitching him up.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Very, very helpful of you.
When did you last see Merlin?
It was no more than an hour ago. He came downstairs and spoke to that clerk chappie. Something passed hands. I couldn't see what exactly.
A briefcase?
No, smaller than that. A bundle of papers, perhaps. The clerk put it in the hotel safe and Merlin went out.
Good thing to know, because I think we need those papers.
Are you sure you saw Merlin putting documents in the safe?
Yes, darling, positive.
I wonder what they were.
Obviously something of great importance.
Yeah. I'd sure like to get my hands on whatever it is. I'll bet they had something to do with Plantar's briefcase.
I guess so too. He stole it.
Has Merlin returned to the hotel?
No, he hasn't. Are you going to search his room?
If I could get in there, I would.
Of course we will. Well, no Joy Buster for her, but we have another character here, and I recognize him from the newspaper. A man from a European country that you can't really pronounce. Whose
I
name you
recognized
can't.
the guy. It was the Nobel Prize winner from the country whose name I couldn't pronounce.
Exactly. That's the guy.
Excuse me, didn't I see your picture in the news? You're that Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Yes, that is me, in person.
I don't want to worry you, but have you had any threats on your life? You know, mysterious phone calls, letters made up of headlines cut from the newspaper.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course he doesn't.
Do you know a guy called Plantow?
I don't know anybody in Paris.
Oh, well, this guy's dead anyhow.
Why do you ask me about dead men? I have seen enough of death to last me a lifetime.
I'm, sure you have.
Well, we have a negative Nancy and a really deranged old English aristocrat, so it feels like I'm in a Jeeves story, Jeeves and Wooster now, for some reason.
Have you seen a clown?
I beg your pardon?
The clown. A guy in funny pants. Have you seen him?
My pants are from England, Marks and Spencer. They are a pleasure and a comfort to wear, with much support.
I'm real glad to
Product
hear
placement?
that. You know, it's good to know you Nobel Prize winners are human too.
In my country, the people make do with string and egg cartoons.
For pants?
For everything. Oppression is the mother of ingenuity.
And still, you probably managed to make him a nuclear bomb, didn't you? I wouldn't be surprised. Never underestimate the usage of egg cartons and string. You never know what you can make.
Do you recognize this man? He calls himself Khan.
Yes, I know this man. Why do you carry his photograph?
I'm a private detective.
Oh yes, indeed. Let's see what we can get.
What's your interest in Khan?
He is an enemy of my people.
Oh.
You know he's a killer.
Of course, amongst other things.
That's curious. Tell us more.
Would you help me investigate Khan?
That is not possible. My instructions are to observe. I cannot jeopardize my position as an honored guest of this country's government.
So he's spying without spying? Weird man.
Thanks for your help.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Very, very strict professor. And here's the clerk.
The clerk wore a disdainful expression, like he'd been born with it.
Isn't that his job?
I want some information.
Who are you? The police?
I'm conducting a private investigation.
Ah, I know only too well what you mean. That is one of the drawbacks of the catering business. When people book into an hotel, they leave their morals at home, no?
You snotty bugger. Okay, we have a few things to ask about here again, so
I'm
let's
looking
go.
for a man who dresses like a clown.
This is a highly respectable hotel, monsieur. There are no clowns here.
If you say so.
Where do you think that would go, George?
Do you know a man named Plantow?
No, monsieur.
Nobody knows him, but he's still dead.
Do you have a guest by the name of Khan?
No, monsieur. Perhaps you would care to check the register.
I wouldn't mind that.
The man who calls himself Khan has a scar on his right cheek.
Vraiment? I tell you, I do not know a man named Khan.
Maybe not, but I'd noticed a change in his expression when I mentioned the scar.
Monsieur Merlin.
I'd like to retrieve something from your safe.
Ah, oui, monsieur. May I see some form of identification?
Like what?
A driving license, perhaps?
I don't drive.
Your passport?
I don't have it with me. I could show you my operation scar.
I'm sorry, monsieur.
Are you
I
Guybrush
must have
Threepwood
some
only?
form of unique ID.
You won't find a more unique ID than my scar.
I'm sorry. I must insist on a more traditional identification.
Rats.
Oh well. Let's see now.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Yes, monsieur. That man is one of our guests.
What name?
I cannot tell you that.
It's Merlin, isn't it? Alias Khan, the clown.
I told you, I cannot tell you that.
Well, let me look in the registry then.
It was the register of guests staying at the hotel.
And he's actually taking care of his nails. There's a key. What's
Hanging
this?
from a brass hook was a key and a plastic tag.
I'm guessing I need this thing. Because it probably goes to Mr. Khan's room. Yes, that's his room probably, and I should most likely have looked
If
first.
the tailor's description was correct, this was the killer's room. The sign on the door read 22. The door was locked.
Well, obviously, but that means that we need to get the key from downstairs, because you usually leave the key with the concierge when you leave the hotel. So we might need some help for this. Let's ask our new friend.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Did I show you this photograph?
Yes, darling.
Yes, we did, didn't we? Well, let's see now. I needed some identification to get to this, and I'm probably not allowed to do that.
There was no one registered under the name of Khan, but the name in the book for room 22 was Merlin.
Yes. And is this for number 22?
Hanging from a branch.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
What?
A little bit too obvious,
You are
George.
trying to steal that key, no?
No way.
Of course not. I'm not stealing
What
anything.
now, monsieur?
About the key hanging on the hook over there.
Oui, monsieur.
Which room is it for?
Number 21.
Is that room taken?
No. The guests checked out this morning.
Oh, so could I check in?
I'd like to check into room 21.
That is not possible.
Oh, come on.
How come? You said it was vacant.
It is reserved for another guest.
Rats.
No, monsieur. Dutch.
Ho 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 ho. You're such a funny guy, aren't you?
I believe Khan, the man with the scar, is also known as Merlin, the man who has taken room 22.
What of it? What do you want?
Access to his room.
Do you have a license, monsieur?
Huh?
A private investigator's license?
Well, not exactly, but I can explain everything.
I am sorry, but without credentials, I cannot help.
This guy is annoying me.
I insist you give me the key to Merlin's room.
I cannot do that, monsieur.
This guy Merlin is a menace.
So you say, monsieur.
He's not only a danger to society, but to your guests as well. He has toyed with the affections of Lady Piermont.
Ciel! Are there no depths to which he will not sink?
Precisely.
Let's continue.
He's already killed once, twice, maybe as many as 3 times. With your help, I just might be able to stop him.
But what if he finds out I have helped you? No, I cannot do it.
Well, you're a coward too. And snotty. But now we know that he's in room 22, room 21 is available. Maybe Lady Piermont can help us now.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello, George. What can I do for you now?
Yes, indeed.
Would you distract the clerk while I borrow a key?
Are you asking me to aid you in a criminal act, darling?
Oh,
Maybe.
no. It's the key to an empty room.
And why, may I ask, do you wish to gain access to an empty room? Do you plan to squat?
No, ma'am.
Scouts honor?
I was never in the Boy Scouts, ma'am.
Oh, you should have been. What were your parents thinking of? It's a fine way for a boy to get licked into shape.
Oh my.
Now tell me, why do you want to get into that room?
It's next to the room the killer is using.
Ah, so you plan to eavesdrop on Merlin?
I was hoping there might be a connecting door.
Well, how can I refuse? I shouldn't think my feminine charms would be much use in this case, but a good dose of English arrogance might do the trick.
Thank you very much, lady. Madam Mom. Oh, she's really walking in a funny way.
I say, you there, flunky!
Oui, madame.
Listen carefully. You do understand English, don't you?
But of course, madame.
Good. I wish to deposit some jewellery for safekeeping.
I understand.
Are you quite certain?
Oh, bien sûr, madame.
Wonderful. Oh, he walks in a funny way too, doesn't he?
Over to you, my dear.
Perfect. And we'll just nick the key. Nice. Thank you very much, Lady Piermont. Piermont. Whatever. And we can finally get into the room next door to Khan. And with that, I'm going to finish this part of the recording. So thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you later.